If you have a Ford Bronco like this one behind me and you're ready to upgrade the headlights, Morimoto Lighting has some really good options. A few months ago, you've probably seen that video where we went over the XRGB. This was a Morimoto product, the first ever Morimoto product with RGB technology, which means you can change the color to whatever you want to match your vehicle. Now, just a few months later, they've launched this, the Morimoto XB. This headlight here is a little bit more difficult to install, but I'm gonna show you that in this video. I'm gonna show you what this looks like compared to the OEM lights on your vehicle. Then I'm gonna show you guys if this one is any better than the XRGB they released just a few months ago. The all-new Morimoto XB headlights for the 21 and up Ford Bronco can either have a white DRL model or an amber DRL model. So when you're purchasing these, make sure you get which one you want. With a single large rectangular projector front and center that's surrounded by a Ford GT-esque shroud that elegantly flows into the lines of the grille, they look right at home. Like the other XB LED headlights from Morimoto, the turn signals can be set up to run in a full reverse sequential mode or an instant on, instant off mode for folks who want something a little more conservative. With these in, you're gonna have unmatched visibility. The XB headlights make use of a unique wide lens bi-LED projector that produces a meaningful amount of added intensity and road coverage compared to the stock Bronco LED headlights. The distribution of light is also more optimal too, with much more width in the beam pattern and increased high beam coverage too. All that goodness and the Morimoto XB LED headlights for the new Ford Bronco are still fully compliant. Their projector optics meet and exceed all SAE, DOT, and FMVSS 108 standards. The US market lights will be equipped with the amber side markers as well. These headlights are produced from the best materials backed with their 5-year warranty and designed to comply with all standards. Now that you've decided that the Morimoto XB LED headlights are right for your Bronco, let's get to the install. First thing you gotta do is set this aside and open up the hood. All right, now that your hood is up, grab a pry tool. We got a couple push tabs here on the top of this plastic cover we're gonna remove, and then we're gonna remove the cover. Starting from the one side and working your way over. I see about 9 push tabs total. Remove those, and then you can remove this plastic cover. Goes up just like that, set it off to the side. Now grab a 10mm socket and a ratchet. We're gonna remove a few 10mm bolts on the top of this grill because we do have to remove this grill to get these XB headlights installed. Working from left to right, again. Your grill is already almost ready to pull off. If you do have the spray nozzle with the camera up front, go ahead and disconnect those now. They're right up here. So let's first remove the camera by just pushing this little tab here on the brown connector, pushing it down and pulling it free. Just like that. And here's the washer line we're gonna disconnect. Squeeze right here on each side and just pull it free. Just like that. Now all you gotta do in this grill to remove it is start on one side. It's just held in by push tabs now. Pull it towards you just like that. Then we're gonna go to the driver's side. Pull that one towards you. Just be careful. And then pull on the face of it. When I pull the face of it, it should be removed. However, this guy has a little bit of aftermarket accessories in here. These amber colored Ford Raptor style lights are aftermarket, but this grill should look exactly like what you have at home. So I'm gonna pull it towards me and just set it on top of the engine bay because I don't wanna disconnect this from the fuse box and the battery. There we are. And just carefully set it up there for now. Your grill is removed. Now we've got this little trim piece right here we need to remove as well. There's 2 levers on each of the fender flares. Make your way to the side of the fender flare. You turn it, and then you can pull the fender free a little bit. That'll give you enough room to pull this trim out towards you. Grab a friend because this could just fall to the ground. The last thing you want to do is scratch up your bumper on your Bronco. Now on each side, you can reach by the fender and just pull this plastic piece out, just like that. Do the same thing on the other side, and you're good. There is a couple of push tabs in the center, so just give it a yank and the plastic will come free. It wouldn't be a bad idea to grab a friend to help you with this part. Otherwise, it comes off just like this. Set this aside, and then let's get these headlights out. Now there's only 3 bolts and a push tab holding this headlight on. There's a 10mm here, 10 here, and an 8mm bolt down here. And then there's that plastic push tab, which is right up top here. Remove all 3 of those and just keep in mind that all of these bolts have a different thread pitch. I like to save this push tab for last because the last thing I want to do is remove this last bolt and then have it fall down. So let's go remove that push tab now. Now I will admit these are the push tabs that nobody likes. Hopefully you got other pry tools like this one. Give it a yank. Your headlight's free, pull it towards you, and then unplug it. Push the tab, pull it free, set it aside. Now I did install the XRGB on my Bronco just a few months ago. Once the original headlight came out, all I had to do was plug it in and it was good to go. The one downside I see from these new XBs is that you do have a couple extra wires to run. That's not a problem because they might be brighter than the XRGB. I'll show you that in a second, so stick with me. Let's power through, we'll get the install done, and then I'll see which one was brighter. What we gotta do now is remove the driver's side, pull it out, unplug it. We're gonna run a DRL harness. This is all the wiring we need to make the XBs work on this Bronco. This, like I said, is the DRL harness. There's 3 connections on the DRL harness. There's one with a fuse tap on it. This is gonna go into the fuse box. I'll show you that in a second. It's got a shorter wire that gets ran to the driver's side, and the longer wire is going to get draped along here. We'll zip tie it up later at the very end, run it down to where your headlight is on the passenger side. We'll be able to connect that into the headlights. It's plug and play from there, but then we got this wire. This wire right here is going to go to the battery. We're gonna run it from the battery to the driver's side, and then we're gonna jump off the headlight from the driver headlight to the passenger headlight over here. I'm gonna start with the DRL harness. Let's go to the fuse box. I'll meet you guys over there. This is where your fuse box is located. You got 3 locking tabs on each side here. Go ahead and push those in and then pull this cover up and set it aside. We're gonna remove the 10 amp fuse right here. This is fuse location number 24. Pull it away and set it aside. Now grab your fuse tab from that DRL harness that looks just like this. Put it in that place of that 10 amp fuse you just pulled out. I'm gonna push it down, make sure it's in there good, and we're just gonna set this to the side and close the cover over top of the wiring. It should close just fine. If you wanna notch it, you can. I'm not a huge fan of notching the plastic cover, so I'm just gonna set it over top. Now, like I said, there is a shorter wire and a longer wire. We're gonna route this shorter wire to the driver's side area, and we're just gonna let it sit here just like this. Now I'm gonna take the longer wire, I'm gonna drape it across there. Again, we're gonna zip tie this up, tidy it up later, run that to the passenger side area. Now what we're gonna do is supply power to the headlights so they actually illuminate. We've got this wire right here to make that happen. On one end, you've got one connector. This will be at the passenger side. Have this sit right where your DRL harness that we just ran sits. Route it over top of here and then run it back down to the driver's side headlight. That's where this end is going to sit. Just leave it sit there because these 2 connections will get connected to the headlight, the driver's side headlight. Then we got one more connection. We got this one here. We're gonna connect this white connector to the back side of that driver's side headlight as well. And then it's just a positive and negative battery terminal connection. Once that's all in, when your driver's side headlight is connected, put those screws back in so it doesn't fall out. Make your way to the passenger side. There's a lot less connections on the passenger side, so once you have that headlight in, put the screws back in and test to make sure all of the functions work properly. Make sure that it's either got the sequential or standard blink function that you chose. Make sure that the daytime running light is working properly. You want a true daytime running light, which means that when your headlights are on, they're gonna dim down to about 50%. It's a super stylish headlight, as you can see. And the install wasn't that difficult. Yes, there's a little bit more wiring involved than, say, the Morimoto XRGB, but arguably they're more stylish if you don't like that RGB style. Now for the moment you guys have been waiting for. Are the Morimoto XB headlights more functional than the XRGB? I installed each one individually. Right now you can see the Morimoto XB headlights at the wall about 25 feet away. This is what it looks like on low beam, and this is what it looks like on high beam. The Morimoto XRGB looks like this on low beam, and it looks like this on high beam. When you stack them up, you can really tell the difference of the light output. The Morimoto XB might be a little bit more light in the width. Another thing to look at is the color. The color is a little bit different, so if you like one color over the other, that may be your deciding factor. We did measure the lux, and on low beam, the XB light was 91% brighter than stock, whereas the XRGB, the RGB headlight, was 131% brighter than stock. So on low beam, in this test alone, I measured that the Morimoto XRGB was actually brighter than this XB. In my opinion, not quite as stylish, but still, the output speaks for itself. Now on high beam, your stock LED lights were pretty good. The XB high beam is about the same brightness as your original headlights, so no real performance gains there, but it's still a great beam pattern. With the XRGB on high beam, you do gain a light output of 69%, so they're 69% brighter than your stock lights. So at the end of the day, the Morimoto XRGB in this test is brighter than the XB. Which one would I choose for my Bronco? I'll probably choose the Morimoto XB. They're arguably more stylish and I don't have that RGB to change between. If you want to see what else we've tested for your Bronco, check out the A-pillar kits from Morimoto. These ones right here, the Pro Comp that they have on this vehicle, but there's so many good options on our website. In the fog light area on some of these bumpers, you can put in 3 4-bangers on each side. There's a lot of different lights on our website, headlightrevolution.com. Check it out, and we can't wait to see you guys for the next thing we do on the Ford Bronco.